And then I go home and I go like this, wow, I sat with Mr. Hill. And then I'm going down the road and I'm like, whoa, I really get to do this project, this is going to happen. Anyway, and then I have awesome friends that are here. And thank you for coming. And anyway, it was kind of like a journalist, kind of like you're a journalist. You don't know why. You want to know. I wanted to know what was here before. I kept walking down the streets and I'm like, where are all the African American history? I wanted to see it. I wanted to know who was, the first to do anything, or, it could be the Latino or the Caucasian. It doesn't matter what culture. I just wanted to know the history of Taylor. And so I focused on the African American community, and I was able to see the Mr. Dickey's clinic, the old. And then I make tours, I ate barbecue.
It's a rite of passage here.
I went back and I made 4 trips. And I want, I'm an artist, so artists have to be honest with their work and with themselves so that, so when I went for the barbecue, I said, he started cutting that meat, and I said, wait a minute, you missed the fat. I need a little fat on there. So Mr. Davis put the fat on there. Put some barbecue sauce, and oh man, I just went back in the car and I yummed it up. So that even motivated me more to just, keep going. There was a lot of, I had no idea that, obviously I don't, but I found out that Mr. Sterling was an inventor, the first African inventor to invent the cake knocker. And as I went deep into it, I kept, I'm saying, well, why? When I come to Taylor, I want, the next person to have access to this information, which prompted me more to just kind of want to dig more, because that's what I'm doing. I'm like an art archaeologist. I'm like a little journalist, and I want to dig more and I want to find out more. And the more I dug, I did find out more. And it was just, it was an emotional project for me. It was mind blowing, and I learned from it. I learned that we all have, I can speak for myself, have a purpose. And my work is not just using objects. I can actually, I'm nervous here, so I can, but it comes out. It comes out. What I'm saying comes out naturally. I speak for myself as an artist in that to move from a painting, to move from becoming an experimental artist, and then to find my niche is a beautiful thing, because God allows, it's not about me, it's about how He's using me to tell the story through my work. And I would like to say that it's fun, it's a lot of fun, and it's adventurous, and I learn as I go, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Any questions, you guys? Please feel free. Feel free. I was able to, we went through a lot of photographs, and there was one, a book with Ms. Hill and her father that touched me. Okay, I was trying not to get emotional because it touched me, because no one allows you to come into their home unless, they really, I guess, like you, or they say, okay, I can trust her, but it was a huge thing for when Mr. Hill and Ms. Hill welcomed me into their home. And when I got there, I was just so touched, So I didn't have the family photos, and I never had that. I was on my own. I'm 40 now, so I was on my own through my art journey. And when I asked her, I said, you know, if it's okay, I said, you know, who are you closer to, mom or dad? She said, oh, both girls. But I'm a daddy's girl. And I said, wow, you know? So when she said I was a daddy's girl, I said, well, I need to put you and dad together. And I want to create this book, which is just a tribute to both Miss Hill and her dad. She was a little girl, and her dad is, I love that photo too, so it kind of, it opened up a lot of things, you know, because I said, wow, I never had an album of my, you know, family, because everything got lost. And as I was, well, that's why it was so emotional for me, just going into the lives of all these people in their lives and the locals, and I was just like, wow, you know, family is so important. And so I got attached to the project. I got really attached to it, and it taught me a lot about, you know, just, it's about family, it's about community. And when I think about it as I stand here, the reason why I wanted to do this is because I wanted to connect with community. I felt that as artists, we're sometimes isolated from everyone else, and we go in our little safe corner and we create. But I think it's so important to get out and meet you know, people in the community, and just, you know, be the archaeologist and the artist, and go out there and show everyone what we're all about. Because it's not just about the artists, it's about all of us. And this was not only emotional for me, but it was a learning experience. It was very educational that I got to learn about Taylor and everyone else that's included in the book. And I go, thanks, Jennifer. You look beautiful. This has been a great opportunity. Now, if you look, it's all, you know, it's not as easy as it looks, because, you know, you know, I have to play, and you know, and just, you know, have fun doing stuff. But we're like hunters and gatherers. We go out there and I say we, because there's more of me out there. So
Tell us about your process. Did you decide
Yes.
how you decided you wanted it to be books? Did somebody propose that to you?
No one proposes anything to me. No, I listen to my inner voice. And with the Barrel Project, I did a project called the Barrel Project. And that's what Amy helps me with. And sometimes my inner voice talks to me, and it says, you need to go get 20 barrels. And I go, no. No, I cannot go get 20 barrels. I know I need to do a project. It happens, and I feel weird talking about it, honestly, because I listen to it. I listen. Why Taylor, Texas? Why did I stay up late at 3 o'clock? I just had a beautiful baby, by the way. She's 4 months.
That's why you were up.
And so commitment. Not listening to that voice that says, "Are you crazy? You just had a you know, balance." Support, family support, and the process just came to me. Books. I woke up and it says book, and I know that inner voice that's telling me books. Community. I know I want to do something on community, and I know I love Taylor. Books. And I said, perfect, because I get it. You know, we all have a story. We're books ourselves. Everyone has a story to tell. why the interest in someone else's life or story, he would reveal that to me as I go on, as I continue to listen to the inner voice. I wanted to also have that old feel, so I sort of, my technique is, there's this library downtown, it's the Houston Library, and Anne says to me, she said, Chisiel, you need some more of these books? I said, you're just encouraging the bad habits, you know? So she goes, I can get you more books. I can get you more books. I said, I just wanted to play with tailoring the idea. I said, she goes, no, you know what it is. I said, I know. And she goes, we're going to get you more books. You have to do at least 20. She said, run with the idea. I said, I know, I'm listening to my inner voice, but, you know, that other voice is saying, you're crazy because you just had it. I said, no, and the stubborn me is going to do it because I want to know why I need to do this. Anyway, make a long story short, so I came home with the old vintage books, and they are objects, but I'm fascinated by old books as well. The old pictures and just the smell of the dust, just kind of, you know, just like awesome. And then I sat down and I have to think for a minute, you need to do this right. This is not just a project. If you're gonna do this, you have to do it right. And you have to consider the people who, you know, who you're going to represent in your work, and you need to think about how you're gonna do this and have fun, but be diligent, you know. And to answer your question, I developed certain techniques as I go because I experiment a lot. I went to the stove, and it's okay to talk about this. Yes, it's quite okay because we are the artists, and it's okay to talk about the process because it's part of what we do. I lit the stove up, yes I did, and I took the books, and there's a certain technique that you develop. Once you take the book and you sort of, it doesn't have to be a stove, it can be just your own setup of, you know, some fire or something, and you just sort of lay the books over the fire. It would sort of give it that burnt patina, weathered look. It's almost like you found it in the dust or some pile of junkyard somewhere. And so I do a lot of crazy things to get my techniques and my experiment a lot. And I take risk. I'm a risk taker. I take risk. I think it's a cool thing because I discover new things. And if I stay just one-dimensional, then I would never see what's the other layers. And that's what fascinates me. And it's sort of like, it's like a scientist, you know? And you just, as I learn these techniques, I write them down. And as I learn them, I keep going for the search, because it's a journey. It's just a search to just, you know, see what else. And I get bored fairly quickly. I have lots of energy. So I burn things, I scrape things, I find vintage photographs, you would find me in the thrift store, I rip things, I love the crooked lines, and Thelonious Monk, as Thelonious Monk once said, make mistakes. And when I have my days, I show up.